Welcome to the Aroma Paths Podcast. We are your scentcasters, Jennifer Pressimone and Sharon Falsetto Chapman, bringing over 40 years of combined experience. Aromatics are our passion, and we'll be sharing holistic tips, herbal remedies, and essential oils in a simple way to make your health journey easier. Let's start our walk together.
Aroma Paths stepping fresh through the mist. Essential oils lifting vibes, feel the twist.
Hi, Sharon. I am so excited to be back with you here on the Aroma Paths podcast. It has been a minute and it has been months since our last podcast. And to all of you who are watching, thank you so much for praying for us and holding this space for us while we were on hiatus, but we are back. And a lot of changes, a lot of things are different. Sharon and I both have experienced a lot of life changes, really big, huge, monumental life changes. And so coming back off hiatus, we thought it was fitting to dedicate this episode to showing you and talking about how are we surviving the life changes that we are through. For me personally, the loss of my mom. And there's certain things I'm doing to help me cope and to help me manage and to help keep me on my feet. And Sharon's going to be sharing what is helping her get through her transitions. But before we dive in, Sharon, how are you?
Hi, Jennifer. I've missed you so much and doing these chats, but oh my gosh, what a year it has been for both of us. I mean, so much change, so much trauma, but I feel like we're coming out the other side of it now. I think you've got to go through a lot of trauma sometimes to get to the positive, and sometimes you go through stuff you didn't even know you needed to go through stuff. And as they say, if it doesn't break you, it makes you stronger, right?
We should have big muscles.
Yes.
Our emotional resilient muscles are like off the chart, I tell you.
Yes, yes, exactly. So, yeah, if you want the cliff notes on what's been happening with me, I sold a house, I bought a house, I renovated a house, I ended up in the ER. My dog Harry's been through surgery, and oh, yeah, I'm trying to launch a perfume line in the middle of all that. So, how about you, Jennifer?
And preparing for a world conference, being a
Oh, yes,
speaker and trade show presenter at
yes,
World Conference coming up
yes.
soon.
5 weeks, 5 weeks I'm leaving for a big, massive road trip from Arizona to Florida. So yeah, my expression for this year has been flying by the seat of my pants. Because I literally have.
Let me tell you, you smell oh so good doing it.
Well, I should because I've been preparing my new perfume line to go down to Florida with. I think that's the only reason. I actually think I had to buy new pants at one point. Yeah, so it's time to take a breath and yeah, reflect and absorb what's been going on. And I know you've been through a lot as well, Jennifer, this year with things that have been happening with you, haven't you?
And fall is such a good time to reflect. And as you're talking, I'm like, yes, you have been through all that and then some. And for me, it's been the same. You know, the last time we talked, I was in full caretaker mode. We were moving into the dementia, advanced stages of dementia. And at that time, I truly thought, even though we were in dementia, I was going to have a few more years with my
Right.
mom. And things change, and only God knows when it's your time. We made it through the holidays, and the beginning of the year was really tough. And I lost my mom on February 19th, 2025, this year. And I wasn't prepared. And I don't think anything can prepare you, even though you know it's coming. And that was a challenge. But there's also other things that happen when we go through a loss, whether it's a loss of a parent, a loss of a friend, loss of a spouse, watching my stepfather going through his journey, losing his spouse, but me and my siblings losing
Yeah.
our mom, and watching my nieces and nephews losing their grandma. And even my great nieces and nephews losing the great grandma, just the legacy and looking
Right.
back and reflecting, she was a huge part in my rock. And so it's been a challenge. It's taken a toll mentally, emotionally, physically. Y'all know I'm a Crohn's thriver and survivor, and the IBS started creeping back up, and I had some challenges with that. We hold grief in the lungs. So for me, I ended up with some significant respiratory distress. And Sharon, I was down for about 2 months in
Yeah.
bed and even ended up in the ER, which we've had a lot of commonalities this
Yeah.
year. But
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love that you said we're coming through it. At the time of this recording, I'm 6 months in my grief journey from losing my mom, Janet. And
Right.
there's highs and there's lows. There's moments when I rejoice in the memories and the legacy and just the resilience I have is because of her. It's been so
Right.
amazing. And she shows up. I've never met so many people named Janet in my entire life. Every store I go to, everywhere I go, Janet, Janet. I'm like, hi, mom. So I know that's a sign. And
Right.
there's certain butterflies that come and
Right.
cardinals, of course, that come and
Right.
nameplates when I'm driving and I'll see a turtle because she loved turtles. So there's splashes
Right.
that I get from her that I find comfort in. But, the life changes has been really tough. And I think now more than ever, I have leaned on my faith and I've leaned on my practice. I've never been more happy to be a holistic and clinical aromatherapist. I am fortunate to know what to do for myself. We don't always know how to help ourselves,
Right.
but I
Exactly.
have skills and I'm thankful for friendships, Sharon, for
Yeah.
you. Are you smelling your oils? Are you doing this? Are you doing that?
Are you still
The
there?
buddy,
Are you?
I know. Yeah, hello. The buddy system has been a lifeline, but the biggest aromatherapy practice. So we wanted this episode to catch you up on what's going on in
Yeah.
our lives, but also to be raw and real. And so I really am using aromatherapy to help me every day. And I tell you, grief is a journey. And there's some days I wake up when I have a smile thinking about my mom, or I have some of her clothes and I'll smell a shirt and I just smile, having her smell on that shirt. But then there's mornings when I lose it. I had to cancel my entire day not that long ago because I just was hysterically crying. The grief was so overwhelming, and the heaviness in my chest, it was so heavy and it was so much. And so this is my practice. I love personalized health. I love personalized custom blends. And while I make personalized custom blends that you're going to use for months until we make you a new one, there is a technique that I use personally, I use with my clients, I teach my students, but I have been taking the benefit of this practice, and it's intuitive scent blending every single day. And so every day I have my jar and I have a new cotton round that I place right in the jar. And then I have my pile of essential oils over here. Let's see if I can pick up some without dropping them. So I have my
Right.
pile of oils, but I sit them there, and the way that it works is you just come over here and you just pick one. You don't look at the name. You just connect with the energy. I'm going forward, so I know that I need it. And then I'll smell it. And you connect with the scent. So for me, I connect with the scent and the thoughts that come up. I honor those thoughts that come up, and I do some verbal journaling about those thoughts. What feeling is coming up when I smell this oil? And then I just work through that emotion and that feeling. And it's helping me with my grief in this moment on this day at this time. And it's helping me throughout the day. And tomorrow, maybe I don't need the same oil. Maybe I need a new
Right.
oil. And so we know grief is a journey. And that's why I love this technique, because I get exactly what I need. And I usually pick 2 or 3 oils. This one is frankincense. So this is telling me I need connection today. I need to connect. I need to go deeper in my self connection. And so if I grab another oil and I do the same thing, and then I smell it and the thoughts and the feelings and emotions that come up, but then where am I feeling it in the body? So for me, I'm feeling this one here in my chest. So that's telling me this oil is going to help me on my grief today. And this is eucalyptus. So how fitting for respiratory with frankincense and eucalyptus. That was so helpful. And so then I'll put 1 or 2 drops on my cotton round, and this stays with me all day. It stays in my pocket. It'll stay with me. Women, you can stick it in your bra. You can, put it in your little strap up here, but I'm smelling it all day long. And that's giving me comfort. And that is my strategy. If I do nothing else or no other self care and I do that alone, that's what's helping me get through the day, keeping me productive, still showing up for work, but showing up for life and showing up for my family. And that's part of my scent mapping, my emotional scent mapping. I have a special technique, the psychointuitive scent mapping technique, which is how I help people with their emotional healing and teach you how to help yourself and help others with emotional healing. And that's my topic at the NAHA conference. And how amazing. I picked this topic before I knew what year I was going to experience, but I'm going to be recording soon. So for all of you conference attendees, we welcome you to come join. If you're thinking about, wow, this is really interesting and I want to learn more, I would love for you to come to our NAHA conference. And Sharon and I both are board members for the National Association of Holistic Aromatherapy. And we have our 2025 conference coming up in Tampa, Florida in October. So that's going to be so amazing. That's the technique that I'm using to help me with my biggest life transition and still continuing to transition in life without mom. But it's a wonderful practice to incorporate for your own self, but also with your clients and your patients and your customers and your family and friends. So I'm going to be teaching more about that. And that's my topic at the NAHA conference coming up. So that's a little bit about me and where I'm at. And that's my tip for you on how you can help yourself, nurture yourself through this. And Sharon, just thank you so much for being there for me and being one of my rocks to help me through this tough time. And I know you have had a crazy year as well. So I'm going to turn it over to you to share your journey and your tips.
Yeah, Jennifer, I feel like I haven't been there to support you as much as I could have done, because just as your mom died was when I sold my house. I had a month to find somewhere to live. My plan that I was going to do kind of fell through, and it turned out I bought this house that I did end up buying in 10 days. I closed on it in 10 days. So there was no time to think about,
Yes.
is this the right thing? What am I going to do? And I didn't just buy a house. Of course, I bought a house that needed renovating. It needed work done on it. And yeah, it all got a little crazy. I had to move out of the house for the renovations. I literally was in it for a couple of weeks, but I got really sick the day I had to move out. I bounced around from a friend's apartment, hotel room to an Airbnb. And in the middle of all that, I had to go to in the middle of the night. So this crazy, crazy pain that I'd had for a week, I just couldn't get rid of it. And I just had to go to the ER. Took Harry along with me because he's a service dog. And 1 o'clock in the morning in the ER by myself, I think that was kind of the hardest part for me, kind of hit rock bottom. But yeah, I got through that. And you were talking about connection, Jennifer, and I had to write it down to prompt it to me, because connection with people throughout all of this, like you were saying, leaning on your support systems and your friends and your family, it was really important through this. And a sense of home, I didn't realize how much we kind of, you know, where our health was affected by not having a home base. People are displaced through tragedy or whatever. I now get a sense of what that is like when you don't know this place that you're in, and you're not sure how long you're going to be here for, and you don't have all your familiar stuff around you and your support tools and everything. So it made me really appreciate home throughout of it. But I've got through it. The house is beautiful. Contractors did an excellent job on it. It took them a few months, of course, but got back into the house. They were still working on it a little bit when I got back into the house, but it was nothing compared to a few months before. It was habitable again. New kitchen, new bathroom. And I think Harry and I just were like, breathe, we're home. We're not completely finished. I mean, as you can see behind me, I don't have my beautiful blue wall anymore, but this is going to be a beautiful lime green, perhaps the next time we record something. Painting has been the last thing to do on it. But the thing that has got me through all of this, because yeah, in the middle of all this, I decided it was a good idea to size up my perfume line to launch at the conference that Jennifer mentioned coming up next month. And I guess I didn't realize how much I was actually taking on. I actually outfitted an old space here to make my perfume studio, but I had to order all the bottles, I had to order all the labels, I actually had to age the perfume and everything. And I think throughout this, I think that has been my thing, my connection to my perfume to keep me going. When you move, you have a lot of boxes. Well, my boxes that had my perfume mods in, like that, I was like this. No, no one else is taking that, it was with me everywhere, So to make sure I had it with me and I kept looking in on them and making sure they were doing okay. And this was before I started sizing up, but I needed that template to work from. So I think that helped me in having that goal to move forward. And I have started the practice throughout the day of because I have to make some of them up to try. So I've got these on my desk now that I do actually wear my own perfumes. Something that we know when you make something, you tend to give it out to everybody else, but you never use it for yourself. So, yeah, trying the different perfumes because my perfumes are people, they represented a different people. And I've just literally recorded my NAHA presentation talking about that. So, that's kind of telling you how the story about how I'm making that up. So I've had my little people with me, and I guess a bit like you, Jennifer, I didn't really look at which one I was picking up, just intuitively, whichever one I was drawn to, because the different ones, some are lighter, some are heavier. It depended whether I needed a boost to feel more fun that day or I needed something to calm me down. Believe it or not, I leave for my road trip as we're recording this, in 5 weeks' time. So all my little people are going to be packed up in the car, me and Harry, and we're getting in the car, driving from Arizona down to Florida. And we're actually meeting up with Jennifer beforehand. So that's going to be wonderful to visit with Jennifer in person because I haven't seen her since the last conference, which was 2 years ago now, and just connect with people in person at the NAHA conference. It's pretty exciting this time because we are going to Florida. We're going to a different hotel. And yeah, Jennifer's going to show me her home state. So I'm excited. I'm looking forward to that.
I know I can't wait for you to get here and I can welcome you to Florida. It was 2 years ago at the last NAHA conference that you and I talked, and we said, the work we do is very similar. We both have schools, we have students, we have products, but how can we work together? We love each other so much, but how can we collaborate? How can we work together? And it was so fun going out to dinner and just hanging out afterwards and just brainstorming ideas. And throughout that conference, we just kept talking it through and talking it through. And by the end, and when we came back, we stayed connected and we said, aroma paths, because we
Yes.
both are on the same aroma paths, but we're on different aroma paths. But the commonality is that we're on a path. And even though we
And
might be
it's
on
aroma.
different paths, we can still walk side by side together. And that was really the premise. So it's very serendipitous, I think, for us right
Yes.
now to be at this conference, knowing that this podcast was birthed from that
Right.
connection that we made, and just listening to other people and being inspired and helping us find who we are, but knowing we're not alone and knowing we're doing this together. I mean, that was
Yeah.
just so amazing.
Yeah, and it makes me excited for what else is going to be birthed at this conference, on making other connections, or reconnecting with other people. I mean, there's nothing like that in-person connection of just the chats in between the lectures, the main theme that you're supposed to be there for, but
No, yep.
it's all the other little socializing bits around it. We're excited for that. I am leaving October 10th to drive. I think it's October 10th or 11th, somewhere around about
Somewhere
there,
around there.
leaving. Yeah, I know I've got to be there for the 22nd. So yeah, so the conference is actually October 23rd to 25th at the Renaissance Plaza Hotel, Tampa, Florida. But if you want to get in the day earlier on the 21st, no,
The
it must be
22nd is the walk.
22nd, the day before. Yeah, there's going to be attendees can do a garden tour at the
Of
University
South
Gardens.
Florida.
University of South Florida, which, yeah, Harry is really going to be looking forward to that after 2,000 miles in the car. He's going to be like, yay, a garden. And that's another good place to connect with people over the plants and get to know people before the conference actually starts. So, yeah, I'm excited for that.
That's one big thing about the conference is it's not just a conference with lectures and you come and sit down and you learn. What we love to do, because being on the board, we can share a little bit of backstory and behind the scenes, is we want to bring you into this world of aromatherapy, whether you're very new to aromatherapy and this is your first conference, or you're just learning about essential oils and aromatherapy, or you've been doing this for 20 plus years like us. We want you to feel welcome, and we put so much attention to detail to plan it like a retreat. It's an experiential conference that you're going to be at. So we have built in time for networking because that's so important. We have built in mindfulness exercises. I have some special mindfulness exercises just so we can practice how do we take care of ourselves, and how do we do that aromatically and herbally and with hydrosols and flower essences and botanicals and nature. We have splashes all through the conference so that it is an experience. And then we're there front and center to help you. If you're brand new or you're coming by yourself, you're not going to be alone. You might be coming by
No,
yourself, but you definitely are not going to be by
really.
yourself, because you're going to meet people. And if you need to meet somebody or you're shy and don't know, come and see me. I'm going to be emceeing the event. Sharon and I both are going to have booths. We're going to be around all day, every day. Come and find us and let's meet and let's just talk and let's give a hug, an aromatic hug, and just connect and collaborate with each other. And I think that's so important because as we continue, like I said, we're dedicating this episode to how can you help yourself through life's biggest transitions and changes in your life. You want to practice that. And this is going to be a safe space where you can practice that as well.
We'll drop a link at the end of the podcast so that you can get your tickets to that. Certainly after this year, I feel like, oh gosh, it must be crazy driving across country after everything I've been through. But honestly, I think maybe I'll just collapse when I get home, but it'll be worth the experience because I so need this, the reconnection with everybody. Just what adventures we're going to hit up along the way. I will be posting on social media as well. So if you want to follow me along and see what Harry and I are getting up to along the way before we get down to the conference and then home again. Yeah, it has been a year of highs and lows, but hopefully we're going to be ending it on a high, using our sense to get through that.
And that's part of emotional resilience. You never achieve complete emotional resilience. You have to practice it. And one way to do that is to show yourself space and grace. And that's one thing through my grief journey for myself and for my family is that I just show up every day. I'm thankful and grateful that I'm here every day. And we allow ourselves this space just to be who we are today. It definitely puts a different perspective on things that life is. It's finite and it's what we do with these moments and who we fill these moments with that make the biggest difference. And that's why I'm so honored and proud and just giddy over being a part of NAHA. I've been a part of NAHA since I came into aromatherapy. It was the organization that welcomed me in, and I've been a part of NAHA for over 20 years. And I look forward to these conferences, but also these connections, this new connection that Sharon and I are making with you here on our podcast. That's just so important. So thank you so much for being
I think
here.
I just wanted to add, I think it's more important than ever. We've lost a couple of major figures in the aromatherapy world this year. One of our directors of the Netherlands, some people probably know him, Jonathan Benvenides, very sadly lost him. Also, one of the aroma pioneers, Andrea Butche, we lost just recently. And it did make me stop and think, like Jennifer said, life is finite. So, yeah, we're so thankful for these connections and having these opportunities. So I hope to see you at the Aromatherapy NAHA conference next month.
And me too. Make sure you come up and say hi. And we're going to continue our Aroma Paths series. We have some things in the works. We're
Mm.
brainstorming and we're going to continue coming to you and sharing with you scent stories. That's a commonality that Sharon and I have, is telling a scent story. She does hers through perfume and I do mine through emotional healing, but we still have this common thread. So stay tuned because we have some amazing things coming soon in our Aroma Paths podcast. And we will see you soon at the 2025 NAHA conference in Tampa, Florida. You can also get a digital pass. So if you can't come live, you can join digitally, and it will be live stream. We have digital speakers that you can go ahead and start watching now. And then we will have all of the presenters at the conference that you'll have. And then there's a lot of perks you're going to get with your ticket as well. So take care, everybody, and have an aromatic day.
Yes, see you soon. Wow, what an incredible and inspiring Aroma Paths podcast episode. Thank you for joining us. We are your Scentcasters Sharon Falsetto Chapman and Jennifer Pressimone. Please like this episode and subscribe to our channel to follow us on more Aroma Paths adventures.